Why are we here? To me, that's the paramount question. Why are we here? What are we doing here as former legislators? I think the thing speaks for itself. This is a gathering of policymakers, people that have the capacity to shape the destiny of any nation. A lot of people I've worked with here, some have been before my time, some after me, but one thing is clear. Many, if not all of you, still hold sway one way or the other in your various constituencies. And when you put heads, they say 2 heads are better than 1. Therefore, thousands of heads certainly are better than 1. It is clear for me this is a good thing. Is this a good thing or not? That we're seated here under one roof as former legislators, I think is a beautiful thing. And we have to continue this. So therefore, I am honored and delighted to be here today. Across the room, I see faces I haven't seen in a while, and old friends, allies, comrades in the battle for a better Nigeria. I am glad to see so many looking well and evidently still committed to the cause of Nigeria and to the betterment of all her people. I bring you greetings, honorable colleagues, and good wishes from His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President and Commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Grand Patron of the National Forum of Former Legislators. On his behalf, I will speak to you briefly today on the imperatives of ensuring national unity, especially at this critical moment in our national history, when we are dedicated to a comprehensive effort of national renewal anchored on structural reforms to essential sectors of our national life, sustained investments in public infrastructure, and targeted interventions to boost human capital and development. Now, this summit is an exceptional opportunity for friends, former colleagues, and patriots who are committed to the promise of Nigeria to jointly consider the various ways we might individually and together support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in implementing the long-delayed economic, political, and structural reforms necessary to advance Nigeria's cause and ensure the progress and prosperity of all our people. I thank you all for taking the time to be here, especially those of you who have had to travel from out of state to join us here today, not to talk about the governor who had to travel out of country, away from another country to come back to join us. Your presence is a testament to your continued dedication to a public service that prioritizes the common good and puts the interests of the people first. I pray that God, in His wisdom and mercy, will continue to provide opportunities for you to serve this country we all so dearly love. Now, it is providential that this meeting is happening here in Ogun State, the gateway state. Ogun State has long been the spiritual home of the progressive movement in Nigeria and remains so to this day. I thank my dear brother once again, the governor of Ogun State, His Excellency Prince Gbajabiamila, and indeed all the good people of Ogun State for the very warm reception and kind hospitality provided to us on this occasion. And I thank all the people who in various ways have worked to make this event possible. The National Forum of Former Legislators is a powerful network of public servants from across the country, men and women who have dedicated their lives to the service of this nation and have done so, some at significant personal cost. The members of this forum played vital roles in ensuring that the emergence of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Many continue to serve in government, helping our president serve this country, and implement the renewed hope agenda. The federal cabinet alone includes 15 former members of the National Assembly. This is a first in history. Like one of our social commentators always say, you can fact check me. That number, 15, does not include the president. It does not include the vice president. It does not include the deputy chief of staff. It does not include the secretary to the government of the federation. And it does not even include me, all of whom are veterans of the federal parliament. The trend continues across the departments and agencies of the federal government of Nigeria, where former legislators are engaged as chief executives and in other senior executive roles. The evident dominance of former legislators in government is both a testament and a result of the President's recognition of your contributions to the growth and development of our democracy, as well as a testament to the role of the National Assembly as an incubator of exceptional political, administrative, and government talent. I am confident that Mr. President will continue to draw from that pool of talent as we continue the hard work of building a more perfect union. The renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is anchored on the unassailable belief that while it is not in our power to change the past, it is our obligation to do the hard work today so that our tomorrow can be better than all our yesteryears. The renewed hope agenda flows from our President's belief that yesterday is not ours to recover, but tomorrow is ours to win or lose. As such, we must build for ourselves and for our children a nation where everyone can succeed by the strength of their endeavors, where optimism is not reserved only for the privileged and powerful, and where peace and prosperity are the birthright of all our citizens. The absolute clarity of the President's vision is the reason this administration has set out from day one to tackle the most difficult reforms. Today, the federal government of Nigeria is no longer paying inflated subsidy claims that benefit only a tiny minority of our citizens. Every Nigerian child today is guaranteed a tertiary education courtesy of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NEL Fund. With the signing into law of the tax reforms, President Tinubu has ushered in a new era of economic justice, built on fairness, accountability, and national purpose. These are not the actions of a politician thinking about the next generation. Or rather, these are not the actions of a politician thinking about the next election. They are acts of extraordinary statesmanship by a leader whose highest concern is the fortune of the Nigerian people and the fate of the next generation. Let me put that in another way so that it sinks home. Many of us, and most of us, if I must say, are politicians. What I just said goes to this effect, or speaks to the choice that President Tinubu had to make. He could either be, or make a choice that he'll be a politician, or he'll be a leader. Let me tell you the difference between the two. A politician thinks about the next election. A leader thinks about the next generation. If President Tinubu had decided or opted to be a politician, trust me, the reforms you see now, which will have their consequences naturally, would only start in his second term. He would only embark on those reforms in his second term. But because of the conviction he had, and because he knew he had a job to do, not for himself, not for the purpose of the next election, but for the purpose, and he was thinking of the next generation, he decided to start his reforms from day one, risking everything. But we thank God that Nigerians are so astute, they've become so astute, that even they have seen and they understand where Mr. President is coming from and where he is going. We thank God, we thank Nigerians, we thank those of you who have been able to send that message, that dire message which initially everybody was arms akimbo, that where we going, oh, we're hungry, we're hungry. But they realized all Mr. President has done is to press the reset button that should have been pressed many years ago. And we thank him for that. Now, while our vision is clear and our destination certain, it is not lost on us that the journey itself is not an easy one. Fixing the things that have long been broken imposes cost, entails sacrifice, and requires time. That is why, under the leadership of our president, this administration has pursued a two-pronged approach of reforms. On the one hand, and targeted interventions, on the other hand, to ease the burden of sacrifice on all our citizens. Amidst this effort to mobilize the resources of Nigeria and galvanize the confidence and capacity of all our people to achieve the highest promise of our nation's founding, it has become evident that there are those who, for the sake of politics and ambition, remain determined to turn our eyes away from our destination. To achieve this, they exploit the fault lines of our history to sow hatred and division, when more than ever before, we need to engage one another in goodwill and brotherhood. Nigeria is a country blessed beyond measure, with over 200 million citizens, more than 250 ethnic groups, and a rich diversity of languages, traditions, and religions. We are a microcosm of Africa itself, from the Sahel Savannah of the north to the rainforests of the south, from the bustling cities of Lagos, Onitsha, Warri, and Kano, to the villages and Ogun State, to the villages scattered across our countryside. Nigeria is a land of promise and potential. Yet, our greatest challenge, and indeed our most significant opportunities, lie in how we manage our diversity to create a united, prosperous, and stable nation. National unity is the sine qua non for national development. If there is no national unity, there can be no national development. Where there is no peace, there cannot be progress. National unity is not the absence of disagreement. Disagreements are part of the human condition. However, national unity defined as an active commitment to live and work together in peace ensures that every disagreement doesn't devolve into an argument, and that even when we argue, we don't do so from a place of fear, anger, resentment, and naked appeals to our worst instincts. Our differences are not a weakness, unless we choose to turn an asset into a liability. Our diversity can be a unifying force. We can draw strength and inspiration from the scintillating variety of culture, music, arts, and traditions that we have here and that are so greatly admired across the world. Unity does not mean we must all think alike. No, far from it. It does not mean we must all vote alike or worship in the same way. But it does mean that we must agree on one thing. Nigeria belongs to all of us, and we will rise together or fall together. Our history is fraught with actions and reactions that continue to breed and foster resentment. For those of us of a certain age, this is our inheritance. But we are not condemned to leave the same legacy to our children. So what must we do? We must talk to rather than scream at one another. We must listen to rather than hear one another. We must forgive whatever age-long grievances for the sake of our children. Nation building, as I've always said, is a joint task. That task goes beyond building roads, bridges, schools, and hospitals. Nation building is about forging a sense of common identity and purpose among citizens. It is about nurturing institutions that are fair, transparent, and just. It is about creating opportunities for all citizens, north, south, east, and west, to thrive regardless of their background. Nation building is about ensuring that in the application of our laws and in our ordinary interactions as citizens, we reflect due reverence for the traditions, religions, cultures, values, and institutions of others, recognizing that people hold dear those totems of identity and will always respond in terrible ways when they appear to be threatened, appropriated, or otherwise belittled. Nation building is a continuous process from one generation to another. We are engaged in a never-ending process of defining who we are and what matters to us. Nation building is not the work of government alone. Every citizen, every institution, and every person here at home or in diaspora who has a stake in the Nigerian project also has a responsibility to help build this nation. Yes, the government has an obligation to lead the way by modeling the outcomes we wish to see and become part of our national culture. That is why the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as a matter of policy and practice, is committed to a governance that is fair, transparent, and inclusive. For the first time in our nation's history, the 6 geopolitical regions in the country now have dedicated development commissions with a mandate to channel federal resources to develop and implement infrastructural and human capital development policies and programs, taking into consideration the unique needs and peculiar challenges of all parts of the country. For 6 decades, we have lifted a one-size-fits-all approach to governance, and it hasn't worked. We are now governing with a recognition that the demands of national development manifest themselves in different ways across the country, requiring different approaches to achieve the best outcomes. Those who do not share our vision for national prosperity will have you believe that the last 2 years of the administration has been a catalogue of hardship and failed promises. Unfortunately for them, the data tells a different story. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me a moment to share some data with you. According to the World Bank's Nigeria Development Update, titled Building Momentum for Inclusive Growth, Nigeria's economy expanded by 4.6% year-on-year in the final quarter of 2024, pushing annual growth to 3.4%, its fastest pace in a decade. Nigeria's fiscal deficit narrowed sharply from 5.4% of gross domestic product in 2023 to 3% in 2024, driven by a surge in federation revenues, which rose from 16.8 trillion in 2023 to an estimated 31.9 trillion in 2024. These developments are, of course, a consequence of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's reforms. The Purchasing Managers Index, PMI, a reliable indicator of economic activity, remained above 50 points between January and May 2025, indicating expansion in key sectors such as agriculture, industry, and services, while inflation, while still high, has begun to decline from 24.5% in January 2025 to 23% by May 2025, thanks to the combination of improved food supply and relative exchange rate stability as the administrator's willing buyer, willing seller FX policy has improved transparency and market confidence. In the capital market, optimism is quietly building. The Nigerian exchange posted at 16.6 year-to-date return as of June 2025, outperforming many global indices. Foreign portfolio investments flows have increased significantly, hitting $5.46 billion in the first quarter of 2025, representing a 67% jump from the previous quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not give you these statistics to suggest that we have arrived at the promised land. Far from it. There's still a lot of work to be done. However, you must not let anyone tell you that we are not steadily marching forward. Our task remains to continue in that forward march with determination and humility, confident in the knowledge that by the grace of Almighty God and our joint efforts, all our best dreams for Nigeria will be achieved. Today, the world is loud with carnage of wars and conflict. Technology is remaking national economies and changing societies in dramatic, unpredictable ways. The post-World War the post-World War order that guaranteed a compromised peace for 8 years has collapsed and is being renegotiated as we speak. As the world remakes itself, nobody is waiting for us. Nobody is looking out for us. Only we can do that ourselves. Now, honorable colleagues, this hall right here is reminiscent for me of the chambers where we all sat together once upon a time, whether the green chambers or the red chambers. We sat not as Igbo or Hausa or Yoruba, but as legislators who swore an oath and who were pushed to uphold the unity of Nigeria. Now let's take that principle that we all sat with while we were in the chambers, outside, into the real world, so we can stay united and keep Nigeria united. Let's work together with and for our president. It is not. Many have preferred arguments that let the South finish its 8 years. Let the Southwest complete the 8 years. Let President Tinubu complete the 8 years of the South. Many have said that. That argument has been canvassed, it has been made, and it continues to be made. That argument cannot be faulted. And I support it wholly for sake of unity, fairness, and equity. But beyond that, there's an even more compelling argument. So it's a twofold argument. One, equity, justice, and unity. But there's an even more compelling argument that is to be made and to be pressed home. What is that argument? Our president, unlike any before him, is bold enough. He has taken bold steps to hit the reset button towards a better Nigeria. He's taking bold and audacious decisions in retooling and restructuring our economy and in re-engineering our finances. He is playing the long game. Let us rise as legislators and support him fully. In the words of our national anthem, though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. And in the pledge of our allegiance, we declare our intent to defend her unity and uphold our honor and glory. These are not just words. They are a solemn commitment and a call to action. Therefore, brothers and sisters, citizens and patriots, let us rise from this day with renewed determination to build a Nigeria where unity is a lived reality, where our diversity is our greatest strength, and where generations yet unborn will be proud to travel the ends of the earth and declare with confidence, like the Romans of old, I am a Nigerian. I want to thank the northern legislators who have sent their representatives here, who came to show support, and in the spirit of this summit, to join hands with their southern colleagues to declare that unity is a sine qua non for development, and to declare, even before us, before we did, that the South must continue and finish its 8 years for the sake of equity. They have come here and even preempted us to say that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu must finish the 8 years. God bless you as you seek for unity for Nigeria, as you seek for unity for legislators. The Almighty God will continue to unite you, unite us all throughout Nigeria. This forum will move in the next 2-3 months, and we shall have a national legislators, former legislators forum in Abuja of both the South and the North. May God bless and keep you all, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.